The Indianapolis Colts have just been dealt another blow on the injury front, with news of a key player potentially heading to injured reserve. This comes at a time when the Houston Texans have already placed their top wide receiver on IR, so there's plenty to unpack. Plus, Jabril Peppers has been placed on the commissioner's exempt list, and Aaron Rodgers is speaking out about Robert Saleh's firing. Lots to get into today. First up, bad news for the Colts. Their top wide receiver, Michael Pittman Jr., is dealing with a back injury that could sideline him for several weeks and may even land him on IR. Pittman, who racked up over 100 receiving yards last year, hasn't been the team's leading receiver this season, largely because Alec Pierce has exploded with 368 yards on just 13 receptions. Still, Pittman remains the Colts' most targeted receiver, making his absence a serious blow to their offense. To make matters worse, the Colts could be heading into their Week 6 matchup against the Titans without several key players. Starting quarterback Anthony Richardson is still recovering from a hip pointer, although he's practicing and reportedly moving well. His status remains up in the air. Jonathan Taylor, their star running back, is also uncertain for this week after missing practice last week due to a mild ankle sprain. Now, with Pittman likely out, the Colts could be without their top quarterback, running back, and wide receiver. Thankfully, they still have Joe Flacco as a reliable backup under center. But at 2-3, the Colts are nowhere near where they want to be. They've been hit hard by injuries all season and now face the possibility of playing without several critical weapons. On the bright side, their next opponent is the Titans, a team coming off a win over the Dolphins, but one that remains unpredictable. So, while the Colts are battered, they'll be hoping the Titans aren't at their best either. Next up, Nico Collins is headed to IR, and that's a tough blow for the Houston Texans. Texans fans received some unfortunate news as Nico Collins will be sidelined after suffering a hamstring injury in the team's win over the Bills. Collins had been dealing with a mild hamstring issue going into Week 4, but he decided to play through it, only to aggravate the injury on a massive 67-yard touchdown bomb from C.J. Stroud. After heading to the locker room, he was quickly ruled out for the remainder of the game. Initially, head coach DeMeco Ryans described Collins' injury as week to week, which gave hope that he might miss just one game and return by Week 7. Unfortunately, that's not the case, and Collins will now miss at least the next 4 games as he recovers on IR. This is a significant loss for Houston, as Collins was in the midst of a breakout season. Through the first 5 weeks, he's caught 32 passes for a league-leading 567 yards and 3 touchdowns, putting him on pace for a career year. Losing him undoubtedly hurts, but fortunately for the Texans, they've got some depth at the wide receiver position. With Collins out, veteran Robert Woods is expected to step into the role of C.J. Stroud's go-to target. Alongside Woods, the Texans have promising rookie Tank Dell, John Mechie III, Xavier Hutchinson, and tight end Dalton Schultz. While Collins' absence might cause a slight dip in offensive production, the Texans have enough talent to keep their passing game afloat until he returns. So, while it's a tough loss for Houston, the team should still be able to manage as they await Collins' return later in the season. While Nico Collins recovers, things are looking much worse for Patriots safety Jabril Peppers. He has been placed on the commissioner's exempt list after being charged with a series of serious offenses, including assault and battery, assault with a dangerous weapon, strangulation, and possession of what's believed to be cocaine. It's an unfortunate and troubling situation, marking yet another instance of alleged domestic violence within the NFL. Peppers was arrested on Saturday after police responded to a disturbance call at a residential address. According to reports, a neighbor or bystander called authorities about an altercation between 2 individuals, later identified as Peppers, and a woman who claims to have been in an on-and-off relationship with him for around 3 years. The details of the incident are disturbing and graphic, leaving many hoping that the allegations aren't true. If they are, it's a grim reminder of the consequences of domestic violence. When officers arrived at the scene, Peppers allegedly greeted them shirtless, seemingly aware of the gravity of the situation. He reportedly told the police, "I know what's going on," before being arrested. During the search, police found a clear bag containing a white powder that tested positive for cocaine. Peppers pled not guilty in court on Monday and was released after posting a $2,500 bail. He has been ordered to avoid any contact with the woman involved, a condition he agreed to. His attorney, Mike Browski, has already labeled the case sketchy, suggesting that there is evidence, possibly video, that could cast doubt on the charges. However, it remains to be seen how this will unfold. Police did confirm that the woman involved was treated for injuries to her face and knees at the scene, which adds further weight to the accusations. Patriots head coach Jared Mayo acknowledged the situation, stating that the team is firmly against domestic violence of any kind, as any responsible organization would be. However, Mayo also stressed that Peppers is entitled to due process, saying, Jabril has to go through the system, and the league has put him on the exempt list while we gather more information. The future for Peppers is uncertain, but until more information is available, the NFL and the Patriots are taking a cautious approach, as they should. Only Commissioner Roger Goodell has the authority to place or remove a player from this list, and for now, Peppers' status will remain in limbo until the league and law enforcement gather all the necessary facts. The timing couldn't be worse for this type of upheaval in the Patriots organization, especially given the internal drama that's been brewing. As I mentioned in a previous video, there have been rumblings of unrest within the locker room, with players reportedly on the verge of a mutiny after losing 3 straight games, while Jacoby Brissett continued to start, despite the presence of highly touted rookie Drake May on the bench. Following their latest loss to the Dolphins, a 1-4 start to the season, things have reached a breaking point. In that game, Brissett managed just 160 passing yards with 0 touchdowns. Yet another lackluster performance for an offense that is struggling in almost every category. The Patriots are averaging just 12.4 points per game, the second worst in the NFL, and generating a paltry 250 yards per game, also ranking second to last. Their third down conversion rate is abysmal, and they sit dead last in red zone scoring percentage. While the odds might be stacked against him, this debut will be a critical moment in his development and could offer a glimpse of what the future holds for the Patriots' offense. Switching gears to quarterbacks, Aaron Rodgers made an appearance on the Pat McAfee Show today, where he addressed the surprising firing of Jets head coach Robert Saleh. I went into the situation in much more detail in my video yesterday, so if you haven't checked that out, be sure to do so. But in short, the Jets made the decision to part ways with Saleh after a disappointing 2-3 start to the season. Personally, I think this move might have been a bit premature, especially considering Saleh's defensive expertise. The Jets boast one of the best defenses in the league this year, so it seems the offensive struggles are really the issue. If anyone deserves more scrutiny, it's offensive coordinator Nathaniel Hackett, but that's just my take. So, who did the Jets tap to replace Saleh and try to fix this mess? Defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich. Yes, a defensive coordinator was chosen to fix an offense that's been the team's Achilles heel. Now, I'm not knocking Ulbrich. He's well respected within the Jets organization and has been a key figure in the team's defensive success. But given the Jets' offensive woes, I'm not sure why they didn't make a change at the offensive coordinator position instead. Of course, with a high-profile move like this, rumors started swirling that Rodgers may have had a hand in the decision. For context, Rodgers and Hackett go way back, having worked together in Green Bay from 2019 to 2021. Hackett was brought in as the Jets' offensive coordinator shortly after Rodgers signed with the team, so it's no secret they have a close working relationship. Meanwhile, there were whispers of tension between Rodgers and Saleh over the past year and a half, fueling speculation that Rodgers might have influenced the firing. However, Rodgers was quick to shut down those rumors. When asked about the situation on the Pat McAfee Show, he responded candidly, "It's interesting the amount of power that people think I have, which I don't. I love Robert, and yesterday was just one of those days." Rodgers went on to directly address the rumors, saying, "As far as any of the ridiculous allegations out there, I'm not going to spend more than one sentence in response to it, and that is that I resent any of those accusations because they're patently false." Do you think Aaron Rodgers had any involvement in Robert Saleh's firing, or do you believe Woody Johnson made the decision on his own? Based on Rodgers' comments, it seems like he wasn't involved, but what's your take? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and let's keep the conversation going. And with that, I'll catch you all next time.